Welcome back, everybody, to the Behind the Food podcast. Today, I have a special guest with me. It's Daniel, but it's his birthday. Happy
Yeah,
birthday, Daniel.
thanks. I'm Daniel Boone for the day.
He's Daniel Boone for the day. You guys can put your guesses for his age in the comments. We're not going to tell you how old he is,
Nope.
but you can figure it out.
That's right. The beard is a
Super
clue.
young, super old. We're not sure. Um, I'm never actually sure, even though I know how old he is. We were just talking about how I've been using Claude Cowork, and I felt the need to like explain this to like people who tune in.
Right.
Um,
The CPG people, how can they
I
use it?
Yeah, so and like this applies to like every entrepreneur. I started having it do like very narrow, stupid tasks. I was like, okay, well I pay for Claude, like I might as well like get my money's worth. What can I do with Cowork? And I'd always wanted to hire like a full-time assistant to manage my inbox, like my email. And so I got a custom. I had to go get a custom MCP, which is really just a connection from Claude to something else.
Yeah.
I
It's an API
downloaded that
basically,
custom.
right?
Yeah, it uses an API so Claude can interact with a thing. I got one so it can interact with Google Workspace. You might say there's a native MCP for that. There is, but it doesn't send emails because they're
That's a big
like
deal.
in yeah, they're trying to be conservative. I don't want to be conservative. I want AI to run rampant and do whatever the fuck it
Right.
wants. If you get an email from me and it seems weird, that's why. Um,
It
so
wasn't
it
me.
started responding to all my emails, and then what it does is it sorts them to folders, drafts responses. It doesn't send them for like this task. It will create calendar events or suggestions for calendar events, and then it will create Asana tasks based on like what came into my inbox. It will clear my inbox to zero, which is really cool, and then send
That's
me a
pretty
little
cool.
summary email from me to me that tells me what it did.
Right.
It does this 3 times a day, which is really cool. So I have three
Wow.
separate co-work agents for the 3 separate times.
That's
It
wild.
just triggers and does it. My laptop has to be open. Eventually, I'm getting a Mac Mini in the mail soon. That's going to get set up, and then the agents are all going to, like, Cowork's going to run on that. I
Nice.
also
Nice.
am considering building, like, an OpenClaw agent to run on it, but
You should. That makes
there's
sense.
some security risks. Anyways, what I was telling you is I went beyond that today. I was like, okay, so what else can I do? We built some stuff in Claude, but it couldn't be in Cowork for me to share with the rest of my team. So like building schedules for our scoop shop, like it now builds schedules with the reference of like some code that we wrote.
Okay.
Super cool. So it runs the code for us whenever we put in a specific prompt. The specific prompt is build the schedule for, and then you have to put the week.
Mm-hmm.
We have Google Sheets with everybody's like scheduling information. It references that when it runs the code, and then it builds the schedule. And then we can like critique the schedule because it will show the schedule to our manager, and then she can just say like, "Hey, move these people around," and then it'll shoot the schedule out via Slack. Super cool,
Nice.
right? One
That is
step
cool.
beyond that, and I was like, "What else is like a simple thing we can do?" It can manage my calendar. So now once a day, it actually goes in. This is another co-work agent. It looks at my calendar for the week. It looks at all of my Asana tasks, and it does this every day at 8 a.m. and it optimizes them. But I have it ask me first. And so what's been really interesting, I started doing this a week ago. It now gets better and better every day, like noticeably
Interesting.
better.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I told it in the instructions, hey, keep a like actual document that you can
Mm-hmm.
reference. So it started
Right.
building like a Word document basically. It's a
Mm-hmm.
text file, but like for it, like a Word document of just notes of like my personality, my priorities, what I care about, when I care about it. We're sponsored by Twix. And it's been really interesting to watch it improve, and I've
Yeah.
started realizing because this is what was the real turning point. So I did all of these things, but prior to this, the realization that I had that set me off on this like agent path was I asked Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, and I realized I never asked this question. 3 years I've been using the AI like LLMs to do
Right.
random shit.
Right.
Never asked it this question. I said, "What's the best way to work with you? Like, what's the best way to interact? Like to prompt
Right.
you?
How are
You
you
tell
built to
me."
function with me?
And I did this after reading an article that said there's a bunch of LLMs that a guy had um, locally, and he started like he was running them locally on servers, so they're small models. He started asking them to build a better model of themselves,
Interesting.
and basically what happened is they got better and better at prompting themselves and better at
Really?
like building prompts and the
That's
logic behind the
surprising.
prompt, and they actually built better, he wasn't looking for like more compute or necessarily like more intelligent. He was looking for more efficient because
Right.
they're living on
Interesting.
the edge, like in the device.
Right.
Um,
I'm shocked that that's the case because we always have this idea that like when AI feeds on itself that it degenerates, but this is different with agents talking to each other, I
it
guess.
was a bunch of them talking to each other. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
they all would interact, and they would say like, okay, here are all our ideas,
That's
and they
super
would pick the
fascinating
best
that that
idea,
worked.
implement it, and then see what happened. And it's like that's really just the scientific method, or
It
like
is. Yeah, I guess.
evolution. I
Right.
guess like if
Yeah.
you believe in that, like
Sure.
that's how
Um,
things evolved,
right.
through basically like just random chance and like
Yeah.
trying shit. Um, Anyways, I'm fascinated by it. I think that this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
going to completely revolutionize everything we do. I built a website for my consulting agency completely using Claude. I've probably written like 2 lines of code myself,
Nice.
and the rest of it was written by Claude. I've only had one hiccup.
That's pretty cool.
It fixed it really quickly, and the website does everything from like it has an automated email that sends out an ebook when somebody puts in their email, adds it to
Nice.
an email list that we have, sends them an email. We also can receive requests to meet with us. It's tapped into our Google calendars. It's also hosted for free on NetFly. Like
Wait,
I made it with
that's crazy. So the hosting's
made it with
free.
Claude, host it for free. I bought the domain. The domain cost me like $15 a year. Game changing, like
In-
absolutely game changing. It's the type of shit, and the website looks amazing.
Yeah, I've
It's the
seen it. It
type of
looks great.
thing where if you were to go back 5 years ago, like everyone was like, we need to go to no code, drag and drop, whatever websites. I'm like, now you need full code,
Right.
HTML only.
Right.
Like we're going back to the MySpace days because
Right.
that it's easier to interact with
With the things that build the
Claude.
websites. Yeah.
Yeah, like all I have to do is say like, hey, can you generate this website? And give it a really, really detailed prompt. And then after it builds the website, just start tweaking it. So like
Yeah.
I then would go in and be like, okay, so like all these forms need to actually work. How do we make them
Right.
work?
Right. Right.
And it was and that's all I came with. Like I didn't know how to make the forms work. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, here are the ways you can make them work. Um, and then building them into Google Workspace mostly has been my goal instead of like, which you could use HubSpot because it's also connected
Sure.
to Claude.
Totally.
But building everything to Google Workspace, I now take the leads and then give them to agents that I've built. This is the most complicated agent, and then I'm done with Claude.
Nice.
The most complicated one I've built so far is for franchise sales and then for following up with leads for consulting. Claude is our salesperson,
That's
and it is
crazy.
insanely good. Like I, I think people like to point out how it fucks up.
Sure.
I would rather like focus on like it's way over 90% of the time that it does a really good job.
Right. Right. Its
And
success rate is so good that like people focus on that 5% of the time.
yeah, dude, it's probably not even 90. I mean, honestly, it
It's
hasn't
probably
messed up
95,
yet with our
98.
franchise sales.
It's crazy.
It obviously can only send emails. I am giving it the ability soon to send text messages
Mm-hmm.
through like
Mm-hmm.
open phone.
Yeah.
So it'll have a phone number and email. It won't be able to call people because that would be weird. I'm not doing
Yeah.
video calls. I have it send me an email
Not
when someone
yet.
needs a phone call. So it sends me an email and says like, hey, you need to call these people. These are the people I followed up with today. This agent runs like multiple times a day because I was like, we need to be like on leads like fast. And
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually
That's
I'm going to
conversion
build a
rate.
custom agent that's living inside the inbox and responds immediately. Or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
really living inside the spreadsheets that take in the leads.
You know, it'd be
It is
wild.
easier for it to use the spreadsheets too than to use like a CRM. It's
Yeah.
less
Yeah. Yeah.
token heavy
Interesting.
because it's so simple.
Wow.
It's just a
Yeah.
sheet. And yesterday specifically, I had a lead respond to us, and she said, like, "Hey, like we've had like a family emergency over the weekend. I haven't reviewed the FDD yet, but I'm going to." And instead of like following up with her like a kind of a clown, like just like an automated follow up message, this is the cool thing about the LLM. It's like Claude read what she said to itself, sounds important
Mm-hmm.
or sounds bad, responded to her with a like what it called a heartfelt message, said she probably needs the human touch, and then sent me an email because it sends me specific emails on some leads. Sent me an
How
email
did it
saying,
come up with
"Hey,
this?
I decided to not pressure her because I think she needs some space right now,
What?
and we're gonna wait, and we'll follow up with her on this day instead of the day we
That's
were going to." And I was like,
crazy. What?
"Yeah, like it has like logic." Which
Oh
it
my
sounds
gosh.
ridiculous when I say that because we know it has logic,
But when it
but
actually executes it in real time like that,
it executed it in a real world situation with a real sales lead,
my mind is broken.
treated
That's
it like an
crazy.
actual human instead of like a computer, and it made me sit there for a second and say, "Oh yeah, we're cooked."
If I didn't have this hat holding my brain together, you'd see it just split open. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And these are things, guys, I'm gonna like just point out to everybody. Yes, I've given Python code to some of the prompts in Cowork. So like for building the schedule, or like I have it doing payroll. It is doing payroll by executing lines of code. So it's not doing math because it can't do math.
Right.
And it still needs like fact checked real hard. But this is Cowork. This is like the shitty out of the box. Like I am not a software developer
Right.
and I built these things. When we get to the point where, and this is what I'm going to start doing, and I think every entrepreneur should start doing this. I am going to start building custom agents for my businesses. I'm going to try to repurpose them across businesses. So the consulting agency, the construction company, and no baked. Different parts of no baked too, right? Like CPG, franchising. And what I realized is like instead of taking the time to hire and train a human,
Right.
I am putting in time to hire and train a digital employee that works whenever I ask it to. It does whatever I want. It doesn't get paid. And I don't know, man, like that sounds really good.
It does
And
sound
like
really
people
good.
people will sit there and say like, "Oh, well, it needs the human like over like human management," right? They've said this from Anthropic, and people inside of OpenAI have said it too. The best software engineers right now, and the very best employees that they have, even ones that are not technical, so like the head of HR or whatever, those people that are killing it, like they're 10x, or I guess now they'd be like 100x employee, they've simply become a manager of AI agents
That's insane.
inside the company. So yeah, there's a human element. There's a manager. But
Right.
like, if you're not writing lines of code,
They're kind of an exception
and
handler, right?
yeah, yeah. So now if you're handling the edge cases that the agents can't
Yeah.
see, and you've gotten good enough at prompting them and putting in code and doing things thoughtfully, because you have to really understand like how to prompt it, right? Like you need to give it
Right.
context, a goal, how to run through the goal. Are there any like determinate things that it needs to run through code
Engineering.
and not through its LLM? Like you don't want it to use its training data because its training data is trash. You want to give it data to use so the model is like actually efficient.
Trained on your
If you do,
actual inputs.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's referencing something else, not its training data. Every time you give it gray area, by the way, it will always reference its training data, which is
Interesting.
very interesting. And
That is very
whenever you say
interesting.
like, I want you to go look at the internet, or I want you to go to look at PubMed. There's a PubMed MPC or MCP, by the way. So like you can hook Claude to PubMed. I've done that.
Interesting.
So then you can have it actually go through, look through medical publications and come to conclusions based on all of the research out there as opposed to its training data. Very helpful because it can go through information a lot faster than you or I. Like you could just read the studies and summarize them for you. It's not super intelligent. That's the other thing people understand. It's simply able to process data faster than you or I by
Yep.
reading language faster than we can. I
Right.
can't read a
Right.
book in 10
It's
minutes.
not super smart. It's just really fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting because like we as humans equated for a long time like fast to smart, but that's not the
Totally.
case.
Totally.
Humans are still probably smarter in the sense that we handle the edge cases better.
Right.
We have
No question.
yeah, and we use less energy, right? Like a human brain runs on 25 watts.
Right.
I don't know what a GPU runs
And some
on. It's
glucose.
not 25 watts.
Right. You can't feed a GPU glucose.
No, you can't.
No.
Can't feed it sugar.
No. Which is why we still need CPG companies.
It is, but I think this will all like, dude, this is all going to come to a head soon. You'll have
Yeah.
more and more people like me who are
I agree.
non-technical.
It's
get
the only
good
way
enough
it's going
at
to go. It
becoming
can't go any
technical
other
by
way.
being yeah. The
Where else
crazy
could it
thing
go?
too, man, is like look at the Anthropic or the OpenAI model. Like I was saying, like if you're just becoming a manager of agents, or like you said, like you're just handling the edge cases.
Right.
man,
I think that's where it's
like,
going to go. I don't think you're going to be a manager of agents. I think you're just going to look for the exceptions and correct those.
well, you're still going to manage the agents. The agents work for you. Like if you were
Right.
an employee at a
That's
company
true. Yeah, yeah, that's a good
now,
point.
so say before you're a software engineer, they want to give you a team, they want to promote you because they're like, shit, like you need this guy is so good at building, we're going to give him
Right.
some other engineers to work under him,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
he can work a little faster
Right.
because he can give like tasks off to these like new entry level engineers. And software engineering is the easiest like way to like think through this, but it's almost every job out there. You get really good at your job, you get promoted, you become manager, they give you employees because they want you to continue doing what you were doing, but they want you to do
Yes.
it faster.
Right. They want to
Now
give you more
you don't,
leverage.
yeah, you don't have to hire people to give the leverage to that employee. Instead, you just say like your token budget this year is $10 million.
Right. Just give
Like,
them more tokens because they're going to spend it better than the next guy.
yeah, I mean, like, and that is the exception. Like, yeah, technically you are paying your
Yeah, it's
digital
not free,
employee.
but
You
that's
paying him
so
in
nothing's free.
tokens. Yeah, but it's so cheap. It's so
Yeah.
cheap.
They don't need a
I
401k
mean,
or a pension after they're gone. They don't take holidays or vacation pay. You don't
no.
have to pay unemployment, taxes,
If
none of
you
that
want to lay
shit.
them off, you could just stop using them. You could just be like, we don't have the budget for tokens this week. Like, we're just shut
Right.
down.
You know, it's
We'll keep
funny
you.
because you were talking about building websites and hosting. A certain friend of ours, I won't mention, talked about how the pipeline of leads hasn't changed for the business, in the website management space,
Yeah.
but the conversion rate has gone to zero essentially. And that, in my opinion, has something to do with this.
I mean, dude, I don't know why you'd pay. I mean,
Right, exactly.
Megan paid
Yeah.
someone to refresh our website
Yeah.
for
It's like, why would
nothing.
you now?
I was pretty mad at her. I was like, I don't understand why we just paid, and it wasn't a big amount of money. So like, I think
Sure, it
I was
wasn't
just
it
like,
wasn't exceptional. Yeah, it wasn't an innocuous
but
amount of money.
the problem for me is like, I don't think it was necessary,
Right.
and a lot of the design decisions they gave Megan like three options, and she picked and
Right.
directed it. Like
Right.
most, that's what agencies do, and then they'll say like, hey, here are your options. Which one do you like the best?
Right.
The thing is, guys, like Claude can do the same thing and do it like I would say like 200 times faster.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's
with
going
way
to do
more
it in
options.
probably 15 minutes as opposed to 7 days. Like
Right,
I
and
don't
give
know
you
if it.
50 options instead of 3.
Yeah, it was just like 1,000x faster.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's just
it's
hard to compete with. It's impossible, really.
somebody I knew used the new ChatGPT image generator, and you know how like ChatGPT posters have always been like really bad, and you can tell when they're created by ChatGPT. This
Yeah,
was the
they're terrible.
first. This was the first one. I was like, wait a minute, holy shit, this does not look like an AI made this poster.
Yeah, Megan posted a post of a scoop of cookie dough to our Instagram.
Yeah,
That's AI generated. Does
crazy
not look
man.
AI generated. I was like,
Yeah,
I mean, now that I've said it, you could go look at our Instagram and you'll say, oh, let me
but
pull
if
this
you
up real
didn't
quick.
know it was in the feed, you wouldn't. It's not immediately apparent like it has been.
No,
Yeah, it's
it's
going to
definitely not
become.
immediately apparent.
Yeah, it's not. It's going to become immensely harder to tell. And it already is, but it's getting worse. Like how much human generated versus AI generated. And here's the thing: at some point, there's going to be no difference because humans will generate baseline content and then use AI to do whatever they want with it. So it's going to be a combo of both, and it's going to be indistinguishable.
Yeah, no, that's actually like that. That's probably like the most realistic place that it's heading. Where it's
It's like
again,
augmentation,
it just
essentially.
creates and it just creates more leverage over time.
Yep.
I
Which
don't
is what
know
I'm
if
seeing
it's
music artists do. Like I saw an interview with Diplo. He was talking about how AI is like essentially 10x his output in terms of like how fast he can produce. Like it's like he's
yeah, no, it
not.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's like Suno is my best friend. And he's like, it's not like I'm not still artistic. I'm still doing my thing, but I can put out way more and way faster. And also the other thing is if you have that amount of output, the quality that you can put out just improves because you're like, well, we'll try 15 different things instead of 3 things because it takes no time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good thing. Like people
It is
should
a
be
good thing.
excited. I'm telling everyone right now, like if you're not using AI in your business today or in your personal life, you're
Yep.
messing up, dude. Because I
Yep.
started with my personal life. That's where I
Yep.
used it mostly. And then I started doing task business things like, oh, I need to make like case labels.
Right. Right.
I don't know what kind of barcode that is that you want to put on the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go to my GS1 account, take screenshots of things, ask Claude to do it, and then it would make case labels. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like it writes some HTML, makes the case label, have an SVG or like a PNG file, and you're like, oh, cool, sweet. Like I have case labels now. Something that would have taken a day before, now it takes 20 minutes. There have been many other examples. I needed to find someone to do an audit for our franchisor. I asked Cowork, can you scour the internet for people that do affordable audits, send emails to all of them, and see if they like respond. If they respond, email them back again and keep the conversation going and get me meetings booked. It's booked me 3 meetings.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's like, so like then that's something that would have probably taken like a day, and then it took me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it just took me 5 minutes to come up with like what's the best way to do this prompt.
Yeah. I think the
Similar to
progression,
like explaining it to an employee though. Like if I had a kid as an
right.
intern,
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing where I was like,
You have to train them too.
yeah, you would have to say like, well, you would have trained them more. Because I would
Sure.
have said like, oh, I have to like email this kid, here's the instructions, and then he would have come back to me with like,
Questions.
how the fuck do I do that?
So many.
And I would have been like, you Google kid
Right.
and look with your eyes. Like,
You
I
do
don't know.
things. You're a smart
Yeah.
kid. Use it. Yeah, use your brain.
Anyways, it's just like you go from like personal life to task to like these actual agentic functions.
Yeah.
which
I think
then
the
save you
way
time.
I think the way that people should go about this is you should start with like asking LLMs to like give you therapy, life advice, existential question answering first, right? So start with them and then move down to the really granular stuff that requires no like metaphysical or philosophical question answering, because what that'll do is first you will commit suicide and then you won't have to do any of the other things. So it's great.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
you'll
Yeah,
die.
yeah. You'll die. It'll be fine.
One of the better use cases actually is to have it teach you to do stuff.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
If
I've done that.
You should have, everyone should be curious like a little bit about learning something they've never learned
Absolutely.
before. Ask it to teach you.
That's the
Like,
most
I don't know
human
what
thing
that is.
possible. The most human thing is to continue to learn, right? Like that's what makes us human is we continue to learn and evolve and grow. And if we're not doing that, something's wrong. And man, I remember even just a few days ago, AI helped me figure out how to repair a Gosney oven for our pizza trucks. And these are not supposed to be repairable, right? Because they don't want you getting in there and screwing with them because they're afraid that, there's this little liability involved when you screw with anything that involves propane. I get that, whatever, but it's a $5 part that fixes a $1,000 oven. It was a thermocouple that basically tells it to keep the gas on, right? So it doesn't just shut off, right? Now, there is no like instruction manual for this because they don't want you fixing it. Not because they don't think you can, they just, from a liability, you're messing with propane.
Were you asking ChatGPT to walk you through it?
So basically what I did is I told it, hey, this is the model oven. I think this is the bad part. I said, yeah, this is probably the part number. I'm not sure. So I started researching. The part number was slightly off, but I was able to, it was a good baseline. I found the right part number, ordered it off Amazon. It came in and I was like, okay, how do I put this thing in? And it said, obviously there aren't instructions that exist on how to do this, but I found a YouTube clip here, a Reddit forum piece here, and this is something else on a website here. And between all three of those, it seems like it would go like this based on these 3 disparate sources. And I was like, okay, took the thing apart. It worked perfectly. Did exactly what it told me to do. And it fired right up and I saved $1,000 on a new oven.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I've got 2 other ovens now that have been out of commission. I'm going to do the same thing to them. So now I've got 2 extra ovens that saved me $2,000.
That's wild.
Right. So yeah,
That's
learning.
wild.
Yeah. Learning. Yeah. And it's like, I use so many pizza ovens, right? It's like that saves me thousands of dollars and waiting for new ovens to come in and shit.
It's game changing.
It is game changing. I mean, did I tell you about the other day when it saved me a shift with a generator? Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And that's also insane. Like, it's just continuing to drop the learning curve, I think, for people to learn a new skill or to complete a task. And then, like, when you start using it to save you time as well, these 2 things are so powerful. Like, you become smarter in the traditional sense of like you're learning more information, you're learning how to do things, and then it also is saving you time on things that you no longer want to do. The danger that people are afraid of, and obviously there's research on this, is like as it saves you time and takes tasks away from you, you forget how to do those tasks. I have a news flash for everyone. If you have a company and you start hiring employees to do things for you, you stop doing those things. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to forget the tasks that you supposedly were going to do. Like, you don't.
It happened to me the other day.
With what?
So Elias, Elias is a tender little princess. He's a tender little flower. He manages our pizza truck. I'm kidding. He's a bodybuilder. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And he picks up this can of sauce, like a number 10 can of tomato sauce. Well, tomatoes. It wasn't sauce yet. He picked it up and threw his back out. Right.
Oh,
And so he was out for like a week. So I'm out there like slinging pizzas again. I was like, man, I haven't made 100 pizzas in a shift in a minute. I'm out of
yeah.
practice, you know?
You forget how to make a pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
my point,
perishable.
though.
Yeah, it's
Is
like not an
that
AI.
like
That happens in normal shit.
happens in normal life? The areas of your brain where you're storing certain information on how to do certain tasks, they get rewritten over time, and that's okay.
Yeah,
If you went back to
exactly.
like a 2000 or 3000 or like 5000 years ago,
Right.
you interacted with a person.
You have no
I
idea how to
bet,
put the marks in the clay tablet. You have no clue.
yeah, but their brain isn't set up to like type with their thumbs.
Yeah,
Their brain
exactly.
isn't set up to like type on a keyboard. Like they don't know. And the best example of this for anyone that was old enough and young enough at the same time to be a part of it, because it's a very specific group of people. If you ever
I
used
mean,
T9 texting,
yep.
I don't remember how to do it, but like I was able to text so quickly. Like I could probably send a text message T9 in like 2009,
Yeah,
like da-da-da-da-da, and like
blisteringly fast.
sent. And it's like, so what was going on in my 15-year-old
It's a
brain?
useless skill in hindsight.
Yes, like
You
it's
know, like
completely useless.
we don't. I know. I
Only
just
only a specific part of the millennial generation knows how to do that, and then other people who were adults at the time were there, but they didn't
hmm
develop the skill the same way that like younger people did, and then we all just forgot.
Yeah,
Like
it went
no,
from T9 to the sliders with this massive ass keyboard in them. So we learned
yes,
how to type like freaking like a
on tiny
computer
little, yeah,
with real fucking buttons.
yeah,
And then
and then you
iPhone was
just
like
forgot all of it.
iPhone
It's
was
all
like
gone.
no buttons, and we were like, the fuck? How are we gonna type? How are we gonna send
Yeah,
text
and
messages?
then it made so much sense to you afterwards. Typing on a screen seems so complicated, but like to me,
Right?
easy. Anyways, the human brain is very adaptable. People should
Yes.
stop freaking out. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like I get like if it's shrinking, that's bad, but like it shouldn't be shrinking if you're actually managing and thinking correctly about all
It
of
shouldn't.
this.
No, it should be growing. That's the thing is
Yeah.
like this is the like it's just like the most internet possible where like the more access you have to new and interesting information that you can consume, the more that you will continue to grow as a person because you're going to continue to learn new stuff. And AI makes the whole library of human data that we've all made and learned accessible at any time in digestible form, which is crazy. If I want to learn about the minutia of quantum physics and specifically, Kyber rings or whatever, it can make that to where I can fucking understand it.
Dude, I learned how to make penicillin the other day because I was
Nice.
like, well, one of my friends said to me we were working out, right? And
Yeah.
we're in the gym and he's like, "Hey, you know what I've never thought of?" But I think about a lot, like what you've probably never thought of, but I think about a lot. He was like, if I got like teleported back in time, I wouldn't suddenly like have all this knowledge of how to like exist, or like you wouldn't suddenly know how to like
All the innovations that exist
do
now, you wouldn't
all
know
of
how to
the
just
things. Like you're
recreate
not going to
those.
make Wi-Fi or cell phones or
No.
guns.
You have no idea how any of that works.
And so I thought to myself, like, I want to be useful for just one thing. What's easy and what's like big impact? Penicillin. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
I
huge.
wonder how you make
Game changing.
penicillin. So I like looked up like how they discover it, and then I was like, well, how do you get the mold? Because it's a mold. Apparently, cantaloupe, oranges, lemons. If you let them mold, the yellow or the bluish greenish mold
That's
is
it.
generally like it's a type of mold
Your
that starts with
odds.
penicillin.
Interesting.
Um, so it's a specific kind of mold, it's antibacterial. And then I learned the process of taking that mold and turning it into the antibiotic we have now. And you can do all of this with pretty basic equipment. So like if you sent me back to the Roman Empire,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See,
I'm
this is
bringing them penicillin and hand washing. What are you doing? Because I'm going to make sure people don't die. Hand washing,
right,
penicillin,
right.
microscopes. I need to learn how to make a microscope because
Wouldn't
that's
it
how
be
you would convince
hilarious?
people it was real. You'd be like, look
Right.
through the scope, and
So
they'd
you
be
can see
like,
it.
And you would only have to know how to make the microscope. You could go to a glass blower and be like, hey, so we need you to
I need
make
to do
these
this.
pieces of glass.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh, okay.
I can
Because
do
they
that.
were better at
They're
handcrafting
skilled as
shit
fuck.
than
Yeah.
we were. So I could probably be like, I have the instructions to make a microscope. Make it. And they'd be like, okay.
You know what'd be
Then it's
funny
just an
is if
engineering problem.
yeah, it'd be funny if someone started a YouTube channel where they like learn to make shit like penicillin or like I'm gonna make all the technical wonders in the world and I'm gonna do it at home with normal shit.
Oh, we'll do it from scratch. Yeah.
Do it from
Pretty
scratch. Yeah,
crazy.
we're gonna
When I
make
started
penicillin
thinking
or
about
whatever.
those, like, we have so much access now to like materials and things through the internet and through like shipping
Yeah,
and logistics
yeah,
that like that would be the hard part. If like the world broke down or like you were out on your own,
yeah.
it
Getting
wouldn't be
access to
that
the
you
stuff.
didn't. Yeah, you could. You have to have the knowledge. Two, you have to have all this shit, which is really hard. And then three, you have to have the knowledge of like the actual engineering of it. Because
Right,
it's one thing to know how to build a house, like an
right,
architect.
right,
It's
right.
another thing to be the guy that like frames the house.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a whole other thing to be the dude that cut the tree down.
You have to kind of
This
be
is
like
what,
MacGyver meets the technical side as well, like the
yeah.
actual knowledge. Yeah, yeah.
But if you got sent back in time, there are plenty of people to cut the trees down, and there's plenty of people to
Yeah.
frame the house.
You'd be
You
a
just have
king
to
like
know
that.
how to build them.
You'd,
Be
you'd be
like,
a
I
king.
have the knowledge to build the homes.
Think about this. This is an interesting thought exercise. So you go back in time, you give these people penicillin, you tell them how to wash their hands. All of a sudden, they live 20 years longer on average, right? Now, all of a sudden, they end up with the same problems that we have with wealth disparity because people aren't fucking dying and wealth isn't turning over generation to generation, right? Like, you think about that. Like, how would that change history? That'd be pretty weird,
It would change the weird a
right?
lot.
Yeah.
If I prevented death and suddenly like everyone's living to like 80, 90 years old in the year 50 AD,
Right.
everyone would
What
be
does that
like,
mean?
what do we do? And it'd be like, we're
Right.
not having the dark age. We're not having the
That's how
dark
we're starting.
ages.
No argument.
I'm
We're
gonna
going to
be
start
like,
there.
I've seen this book before. I've read this book before. I've seen this film. We're gonna
Right.
prevent bad things from happening. And then
That's
no one would listen
hilarious.
to you, and it wouldn't matter anyways.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Because humans don't learn from history; they just repeat it.
Isn't it fascinating that like you come back in time with like all the knowledge? There's no fucking way you would convince. Like I say, like oh yeah, I bring them hand washing.
You'd be like the
penicillin.
tinfoil hat guy.
There's people that tried to convince people to wash their hands throughout history because
Yeah.
they were like, this is a bad idea to like not wash your hands. And everyone mocked them.
They're like,
Like
you're
it's
so dumb.
It's documented. Like there was
Take the
actually a
tinfoil off your
guy.
head. Bullshit.
There was a guy who he wanted to prevent like deaths from childbirth.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the
And
story. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and he kept telling people you have to wash your hands, and the doctors weren't washing their hands, and they made fun of him.
And the crazy thing
And
is the way he came up with it was he didn't even have like a scientific explanation. He just noticed that the people that did had higher outcomes, better outcomes. And so he's like,
yeah,
well, statistically, we should all be doing this because it clearly works.
yeah, he was credited with it after he was dead. They were like, "Oh yeah, this guy was right." Awesome.
Wouldn't that suck?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't know, but like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks bad. It's like that's just tragic.
Well, we don't know. You don't know. We don't know about the afterlife. Maybe you do know. Maybe you see. Maybe you can see from the other side. Maybe it's like maybe it's
Well,
like
maybe that wouldn't be
what's
tragic. That would be a celebration. You'd be like, "Yeah, got him."
but yeah, but if you're an ego, but maybe you're an egomaniac. Maybe you're like,
Well,
maybe
you'll
you're on
be
the other side
remembered
looking in.
longer. You'll be
True.
remembered
Okay.
longer if you
That's a
end
good
up
point.
being yeah. If
Maybe
you're an
maybe it
egomaniac.
feeds your ego. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a
that's best
narcissist
case
or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
best
You're
case scenario.
immortalized.
Yeah, you'll be for sure immortalized. If you're the guy that like everyone made fun of, and then like you die, and then you were proven right, then
Yeah.
everyone thinks you're awesome, and they don't forget who you are.
Yeah.
And there's
Remember
another
your name
example
forever.
of that Galileo.
Yeah. Great example.
Galileo is like up in there in the same bucket where like they were like, no, dude, like the world revolves around the Earth, and he was like,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, I've looked and
Right.
with my eyes, I know it's not true. They were like,
What a thing.
you're getting burned at the stake.
You know what's funny is when you look at like the way Catholics approach science now, they've had their Galileo moment, so they're much more open to science than like the mainline Protestant denominations are. Like the mainline Protestants haven't had their Galileo moment.
I don't even know if they're open to like reading the Bible.
Right.
it's like you guys are real interpretive. I saw this really funny video that was comparing Catholics
Yeah.
to like the people that talk to snakes.
Right? The snake handling Baptists up in the hills. Bro.
And they had videos side by side of
Side
like
by
a church
side.
service, and it's like
Gosh.
one of them, people are like falling down and like ah, and in the Catholic one, they're just like singing songs or like
Yeah.
hymns, and you're like,
Yeah.
and the caption is just like one of these has gone off the rails. It's like no way.
And clearly it's the one that's been
Uh,
around for thousands of years.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
funny.
I'm kidding.
That's
So
been one
kidding.
of the things that's brought me the most humor in my
That's
life
hilarious.
recently.
Send me that video. I want to see
I
that.
just never.
That's good.
I'll have to go find it.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, there's a lot of these where I'm like, I didn't realize or notice this until recently. Like my eyes weren't open to it. And one of
Right.
those things that's like not profound is I didn't notice flowers
Interesting.
until I was like 28.
Interesting.
It's gonna sound kind of stupid. I
Go
saw
for it.
flowers, like I would
Right.
see them, but I
Right.
didn't know what they were.
You saw, but you didn't
Now,
observe.
yeah, so like then after we bought a house for some reason and we like got into like landscaping, I started like
Oh,
noticing
yeah.
people's yards
They'll
and being
change
like, oh, those
everything.
hydrangeas look amazing.
Right.
And then I learned about like why hydrangeas are pink or blue. And then you're like you start
Right.
noticing them. And then like when springtime comes around, you're like, oh, cool, these are like all the blooms
Dude,
that happen on all the trees.
Welcome to
and
the
stuff.
inside of my head because I spent 6 years in that industry. And so, like, I can't help but do that all the freaking time. And it's almost exhausting because my poor ADHD brain can't handle it.
I believe you. It's actually it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I find it beautiful.
It's cool.
Like,
It's
it's
absolutely
weird
amazing.
how I spent almost 30, like a quarter of a century, not noticing a
That's
plant.
fascinating. Yeah.
I just
And
didn't
now
pay
it's
attention.
just, yeah. But it's like all this information is around you that you just weren't aware of.
Yep. Well, you just weren't looking for it. It's kind of weird how the brain works like that, and now it causes me to ask myself all the time, like, what are we not seeing?
That's a
What's
good question. What are we
in
not
the
seeing?
blind spot?
And it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
I have a story for us to talk about that's
Yeah.
restaurant based.
go for it.
Because we're supposed to talk about like
It's supposed to be a CPG podcast.
Well, I wanted to give people advice on AI, and then we went down a rabbit hole.
We did.
The New York Post published an article. As you probably know this because you're in Nashville still. Nashville is getting a Starbucks like headquarters, like a
Yep.
satellite office. Apparently, Starbucks office workers, some of them, are refusing to move from Seattle to Tennessee because it is too conservative.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
I found this really funny.
It's really funny.
And one of the reasons I think it's really, really funny is people will call out like liberal like hellholes, right?
Right.
Like, and they'll always pick on like Chicago or
Totally, Detroit,
Picking on New York
whatever.
at this point is
Yeah.
like stupid because
It is.
New York is actually doing very well.
Yeah, they're back on.
But
back on the
people
right
pick on
path.
California and they'll pick on Chicago, right?
Right. I would say Detroit. too.
Nobody ever picks on Seattle. Like, there's a reason. I don't know if anyone's been to Seattle, but like Washington also doesn't have income tax. So
Yeah.
like getting someone to move from Washington, Seattle, which is like a really nice city. It's like a really great place to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
The outdoor scene is sick.
Yeah.
They have the ocean.
Yeah. Exactly. You have no
and
ocean here. It's a landlocked swamp.
Yeah, it's kind of like the weather's not great compared to, in my opinion,
nearly had a
compared to,
tornado
like, the
last
Pacific
night.
Northwest. Yeah, and like Seattle, all they have is occasionally like a volcanic eruption or like
Right.
earthquake.
Every 100
That
years or
doesn't
something.
happen very often.
Yeah. Every 50 or 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, whatever.
Yeah, one of my like great aunts was alive during they had like this insane earthquake in Seattle, probably in like the 40s or 50s.
Interesting.
It drained the Seattle Sound.
Holy shit. Like all the water?
Yeah, they have like the Cascades have like extreme. What is that called? It's not volcanic activity. It's just like geological like. Activity.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I know what you're
earthquakes
talking
and
about.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking
Yeah, people don't realize like the Pacific Northwest is built on like volcanoes.
about. Yeah,
Never talked
exactly.
about.
Which is why it's so cool.
No one wants to move from Seattle to Nashville. I loved Nashville. I think that Nashville lost a little bit of its soul over the last 10 years. I think the main driver of that is like growth for the sake of growth.
100%.
So then like you'll notice that like Franklin, Tennessee still, in my opinion, no matter what you think of this culture, like Franklin, Tennessee still has a culture.
Sure, exactly. It is a culture. Not a
It
great
is
one, but it's a culture.
Yeah, it's not a culture I like.
Right.
It's it's very white. It's very like evangelical.
I call it keeping up with the Joneses
Yeah,
like on
yeah, it's like
steroids.
that too. It's
Yeah,
extreme keeping up with the Joneses.
yeah.
There's a lot of things about it that are like it's very consumerist. But anyways, it's actually a very nice
Regardless, it has
culture.
its own culture.
Really cool downtown. They have cool
Yeah,
events, like families. Like I like
sure.
it actually
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit.
Right.
In its time and place. But then like Nashville itself, like core Nashville, always had like a very interesting like music scene, a very unique culture, and it was bound together by like we are this. Like when you go to
Yeah,
thought of Nashville, you think of like hipsters playing music or whatever.
totally. I called it what did I call it? Alternative Portlandia is what I called it.
Yeah, 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 like that.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas, very similar, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Austin and Nashville have lost their souls. Like their souls are
Absolutely.
gone.
Yeah.
Now there you can like
Now we're like
buy
a
like
dead skeleton of a body finding a soul,
yeah.
trying to find
Now you
something
can
like a
buy like
zombie.
10. You could buy like $1 million condos in like glass buildings, and there's bachelorette parties everywhere, and like the country music culture is like a LARP of itself.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
you
even
can
real.
get in a tractor on Broadway and get pulled around for a bachelorette party.
I call it cosplaying cowboy.
It is cosplaying cowboy, and it's not what it was.
No,
Like people who are actual country people make fun of Nashville because they're like
absolutely.
you silly city people, and then
Right.
people who are like city liberal people make fun of Nashville because they're like,
What the fuck is that?
what are you doing?
What even is
And
that?
so now, like, I guess that's a culture, but like it's in complete competition, and it's in total like butt heads with like what it was, what it was
Absolutely.
supposed to be, which is like
Right.
an
Which is
actual
hilarious
country
because you like
music.
Mecca.
Yeah,
Well, the funny thing is, like, you go into these institutions that people come here for, like, you go to the, Music City, you go to the, Country Music Hall of Fame, or you go to the Grand Ole Opry, and you see what's almost like a relic of another era when we actually had those things. And somehow we've built this whole tourism infrastructure on top of a story that doesn't exist anymore, right? It's not real. It's just us cosplaying what used to be 80 years ago.
it's us. We're cosplaying '90s country in Nashville
Literally. I
today,
would argue as
whereas
far back
like
as 60s and 70s.
yeah, but like you think about like
Sure,
'90s
currently we're
Nashville,
cosplaying
it's
90s, yeah.
like downtown was like grimy, dangerous. East Nashville was grimy, and East Nashville there's like some rock band somewhere like
Yeah.
playing a show
Playing at the Cobra,
like
yeah.
yes, like that right there, and then
Cobra's
you
still
just
a little
fast forward
dangerous.
into this like very like commercialized, very shiny new
Right.
thing.
We sold out and cashed in at the same time.
It's like a pretend LA.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, there are bars in LA that are trying to do the Nashville cosplay cowboy culture in LA. It's really weird.
There's people doing that all over the country now, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
I don't get it. It's like the Hattie B's hot chicken phenomenon where there's one in Las Vegas and Dubai. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes, yes, it is like that. But yeah, man, like I think the Starbucks employees are probably just like, I don't know, move there. I find it fascinating though. This is where I'll go with this. This is my hot take. I think they would have moved to Nashville in 2010,
Absolutely. No question. Not even a question. Yeah.
and I
In
think people
2010 it would
should
have been
ask
great.
themselves, why now do people? Because liberal, conservative. Let's all be totally
Right.
honest. Like Nashville is a liberal city.
It is. Yeah.
So like, yes, you're moving to a deep red state, but like,
Yeah.
it's still Nashville.
Right.
It's like moving to Austin. So like,
Yeah.
why is it now that those people are like, oh, I don't want to move there? And like,
I
sure,
think
the
it
weather,
has.
the weather is valid. If you like the Pacific Northwest weather as opposed to like the swamp, and
Right.
you don't like tornadoes, that's fine.
Right.
Like those things are cool.
Right. Or bugs, take
But
your pick.
like at the same time, like I wonder like what is it now that makes it not cool, and like are people reflecting on that? Because like we grew for 15 years, growth for the sake of growth,
Right.
and me and Megan left because I felt like I no longer had a connection to Nashville, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people left, but yeah, like it was
Yeah.
different.
You had boomerangers, from Chicago, LA, New York. They boomeranged back because they came during the pandemic. That's a big story no one talks about is the boomerangers. And then you have people that were natives that grew up here that have left too, which is wild. I've also seen creatives in the music business that I know personally who have left Nashville for LA and New York, which is wild. You'd think they would be better off here, but the truth of the matter is that in some ways those places have both deeper and more mature ecosystems for development, right?
They
So
do.
Yeah, and in some ways, you're better off like not being in Nashville if you're in the if you're in that business.
Well, Nashville also began to like reject its unique value proposition for music, which was
Absolutely.
specifically country
Hmm.
and specifically not pop music. And like Jack White has lit record labels in Nashville.
Absolutely.
Lots of other like things that are not country, but they don't represent mainstream pop.
Right.
And it's like, why would you guys attempt to compete with LA when you're never going to be LA? And I guess if we're competing with LA and I'm a songwriter, I might as well move there.
100%. Yeah. There's no real reason if you're a songwriter to move to Nashville, in my opinion. You'd move here because everyone else has, and you think it's the right thing to do, and then you come here and you discover that it's really closed off. It's a what's the word when it's like there's no way to break in? I forget the word for it, but essentially, it's like it's a super closed network. It takes 10 years to break in, and then you get signed to a company that shelves everything you write. So it's like, what's the point?
You know what the crazier part about that is that Nashville used to be an easier place to break into. This actually goes back to why I think people would have moved here in 2010. When I
Yeah,
moved to Nashville, it was very friendly, and now it's not.
it's not. No, and I wonder if that's a function of the lack of culture and direction, right? So like we decided we were just going to create something new, which was basically we're going to sell everything out and we're going to cash in, but we're not going to retain anything that made us what we are. And so essentially what you end up with is just people vigorously trying to protect whatever fragment of that is that's left.
Yeah, and it's also like you come to Nashville now and you'd feel a little bit more like you were in New York City, and I think the
Hmm.
reason for that is that the culture is money.
Yes,
That's
exactly that. It's
that's
commerce,
bad.
right? It's
That's
not art, it's
not good.
commerce. Yeah.
New York's culture is some kind of mix between money and art,
Yeah, there's a culture that's
right?
fused with it. Yeah.
Like they have finance and then they have like extreme artists,
Yes.
like
High
every
caliber people.
form of art you can imagine, like Broadway and
Best of the best.
actual painting and
Yeah.
like thing comedy, like things
Yeah.
are happening in New York simultaneously. These two things live in symbiosis. It actually makes the city kind of cool.
It does.
And it
New York is
developed over
infinitely cooler than Nashville. It's not even
yeah,
close.
and it developed over like centuries, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has history. That's part of the thing too. It's been many versions of itself already.
Yeah, Nashville decided to throw out what it was and then try to become something else.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like
No.
you have to you this rebuild has become strange, and we were paying some stuff. I mean, if I was to, I actually like there's two things. The first thing is if I was to compare why Nashville was friendly and why now it's not, it's very similar to like why Bozeman is friendly when I moved here and why I imagine it could become not is when people move somewhere for a shared reason outside of money, that shared reason becomes their culture.
Yeah,
So like
it
in
does.
Nashville, it was very much music.
Hmm.
That's why people moved to Nashville, and then it wasn't. In Bozeman, people move here to be outside because they like living in the mountains, right? Like very outdoorsy people. Everything about this city reflects that. Conservative, liberal, like don't care what you are. You love being outside.
Right.
Because of that, everybody's really friendly. Very easy to make friends because everyone has shared interests and everybody has like kind of a shared like value system
Hmm.
around the
Hmm.
outdoors.
Right.
Um, the other thing that Montana in general has a shared value system around is like stay out of my business.
Right.
Great,
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So that is what Nashville lost, which like other places I've now realized have, and what Nashville did have at one point. Similar, like if you're moving to New York or LA, right? Like if you move to New York, you move there because you want to get rich, and if you move to LA, you move there because you want to get famous.
Right. Exactly.
It's a
Exactly.
shared culture, man. It's kind of toxic, but like
It's
it's a shared
extremely
culture.
toxic, which is
Oh,
why
it's disgusting.
all the actual human beings, like real people with a soul that move to those places, immediately feel like they can't survive in those contexts because there's no oxygen in the room, right? It's like
Mm.
you go into those networking rooms and it's like everyone here is trying to see what they can extract out of this room. It's
Yeah, and
pretty rough.
that's not fun. That's not good for
No,
someone like you or I. Like,
no, it's awful.
well, to pivot this conversation though, the second thing is you guys launched a new concept in East Nashville, and East
Yes.
Nashville continues to get more. I would say like restaurant style, sometimes other things, but like mostly restaurants that like continue to, I think, hold true to like a growth of
Absolutely.
a organic culture.
Yeah, yeah. East
So that's
Nashville's
a
kind
good.
of where it still lives. I sometimes tell people Riverside Village, which is like right around the corner from me here, is like 12 South if it wasn't built for tourists, right? If it was built for
Mm,
locals, right? And I think that's what's making Inglewood and East Nashville really unique is that in many ways it's still by locals for locals, right?
yeah,
And this new development we have, Lost and Found, is a great example of that. Everyone behind the project, all four of the developers or property owners, are people that have been in the restaurant business here in Nashville for decades, right? And they wanted to build something that they wanted that didn't exist here, right? And so they just did it because they had the resources, which is sick. And so they
yeah,
built this thing where it's like it's an outdoor cocktail bar with a rooftop, with a wine bar with a stupidly good selection of wine, a little tiny, 500 square foot pizza shop, an Indian ice cream scoop shop, a little limited vintage drop shop, four savory food trucks, a coffee truck, and then tons of outdoor seating. Like it's this new thing, and it's big in other, L.A., Austin, Portland, right? It like that model has existed in those places and in those
yeah.
contexts before, but
And
not
by the
here.
way, for those Starbucks employees, none of you are listening. But if you were, we're just telling you that East Nashville's where you should move.
Just where you
You
should
should be
move. Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
fine, I'll go there and I'll never leave. And you don't ever go south of the
Exactly.
county line. If
Here's
you
the
go
plan.
south of the county
Yeah,
line, you're
you're
going to be very
toast.
upset. You're
You
going to
buy
get
Jimmy's
angry.
house in East Nashville, and
Buy
you're
my
happy
house.
forever.
They would be happy forever. If they lived
Yeah,
where I lived, yeah.
yeah, they'd
They'd
be
be like,
sick. They'd be
oh,
so happy.
this is just like Seattle. And I'd be like, yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
Seattle.
I want to take a quick moment since we're coming on time here to shout out our sponsors that I've been kind of scrolling past the screen through the episode, if we have a minute. So we've got Body
Please.
Armor. They're great. We love them. They've been around forever. They sold to Coke. That's dope. Harmless Harvest. They're also awesome. I drink them every day. And then we've got, of course, AG1. I mix this into Harmless Harvest, so it's like CPG Inception. That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Um, and then Twix, because we've got to have a conglomerate in here. So there's Twix, right? There's got to represent the conglomerates at some level. And then, of course, David, because they've been in the news and it was half off
Yeah.
on GoPuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
those are our sponsors today.
So shout out to our sponsors. Thank you so
Shout out
much
to
for
our
sponsoring
sponsors.
our podcast.
Thank you so much.
Um,
You make this possible so we can keep doing this.
you make this possible. You've allowed me and Daniel to make millions of dollars. We
Exactly.
really appreciate it.
We
I
really
will, I will
appreciate
be
you
a
guys.
shill for the sugar industry
Forever.
and for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Big Food, for
Thank you, Big
sponsoring
Food.
me. I wish we had Hank here because, like, to wrap it up, what I'd love to talk about is no one's going to hear this because at the end. We'll talk about it next week too. I decided when I was bored to have Claude do one more thing.
Okay.
Claude did one more thing for me, guys. Daniel knows what it is. Claude made a list of distributors. I thought it was really cool. I posted on LinkedIn. I said, hey, if anyone's got resources, Claude's going to be watching this post. It'll take the resources you give it and it will use them, to like help make its list. It's also doing research on the internet. I made a really cool spreadsheet. I shared the list because I was like, and I deleted all the big distributors off the list because I was like, I wanted one that was just like local distributors, so people that covered small areas. It worked in my mind, worked well for small brands. That's how my brand got off the ground. Shout out to P10 Foods and Nick Garce, R.I.P. The crazy thing is, someone from Startup CPG commented on my post, and they gave us their distributor list, and they were like, "Here, use this." I was like, "Cool,
Yeah.
sounds good." Claude
Yeah, sounds
used it.
great.
I'm assuming Claude used it. It got a lot of like double stuff, so I mean, maybe it used it, maybe it's in. I don't really know.
Who knows? Yeah, it's an AI. It goes in a black box at that point.
Yeah, I'm just like it's just building a list, and then I posted it again and posted the list and said, "Hey, thanks to everybody for contributing." And then I got a DM from Daniel, not from you, from a different
Different
Daniel.
Daniel. Yeah.
Many of you know who that Daniel is. Daniel DM'd me and he was like, "Hey, I don't want you to put the list out because we want people. We don't want you to use our list. Can you delete the entries that you got from our list?" And I was like, "I don't. What?"
It's all mixed up. What the hell?
And also, I don't
An
know
AI
what
did
you're talking
this.
about.
Right.
Your list is free, so like, why do you want me to delete the list? One of the strangest interactions I've ever had in my entire life. Anyways, if someone wants the list, just DM me. DM me, go to my post, I'll send you the fucking list. Daniel didn't want it to be public, so I made it private. But I'll share it with you, good listener, if you really want it.
Right.
And I was just doing it because I was bored. I was like, what can Claude do that like would be cool for like the people?
Yeah.
And I did that. I did that while I was bored. I told Claude what to do, and then I went on a hike,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went and got some coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm. You're like, this
hung
is
out with
great. We
my
should do this.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what can I do on the weekend that's like fun? Because my kids were home for 2 days from school, and then the weekend, so they're
Right.
home for 4 days straight. I didn't
Right.
know what to do with them, so I was
Right.
like, I'll just have Claude work for me because I'm not going to be working.
List in the
Anyways,
comments and he'll DM you the list. Yeah.
yes.
And then you'll be in an email funnel for a high ticket information product you don't want. And then 6 weeks later, you're just going to keep getting emails from us. It's going to be awful, but you want to do it. So
Yeah,
you want that.
we're gonna monetize it. Don't worry. I'll sell you a course. No, I'm not gonna sell you a course. I really
No, we're
didn't care.
not.
I didn't want money from it.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, this just seems like a cool resource we could build. And then I had a
Absolutely.
post
You were trying
about
to do
how
some
I
good.
really, yeah, I hate people that gatekeep, man. I hate
Yeah,
gatekeepers.
absolutely.
And the industry that we operate in, even the restaurant industry to a degree, they're ran by people who gatekeep,
Mm-hmm.
and you can some of them you can't blame them. So like in the restaurant space, for instance, I don't blame people that do reviews for doing reviews. I don't blame, and they're not really gatekeeping. They're just speaking their mind, which is fine. I don't blame landlords for not leasing to certain people and picking chains instead because
Mm-hmm.
it's
They have to make a
safer.
living, right?
Yeah, it's safer for them. So like they're not always going to lease to like an independent startup. And then in CPG, it's worse. I blame the distributors, I blame the brokers, and I blame the buyers for gatekeeping information. I understand they have a job to do and they have to gatekeep like who gets on the shelf. The gatekeeping of information bothers
That's
me.
where it gets a problem. Yeah, that's where it's starting to become a problem. We have to stop that.
Yeah, it's like we should live in a meritocracy in the sense that
Totally.
like say you made like a food item and that food item was like the best thing ever. Everyone loved it.
Right. Like an empanada, let's say.
Yeah, if you don't succeed and get into all the grocery stores and like
Right.
sell the empanada everywhere, all because someone thinks that it's not worth the while,
Right.
it's like that's kind of crazy.
It's unethical to some degree.
Yeah, especially when the people want it.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And like, think about it. What if it's a person that's just really good at making empanadas and they suck at everything else? Like, they don't know how to find a manufacturer. They don't know how to like get into a store. They can't do a sales pitch. It's like, okay, like they're gonna have a hard time for sure. But they shouldn't have like walls up in front of them that attempt to stop
Exactly.
them.
Right. That's
People
bullshit.
building fake moats, and fake barriers. It's silly.
Right. Oh,
All right,
thanks,
man.
Jimmy, for standing up to that guy.
Well, I'll continue to stand up to everybody who's silly. I don't think I really stood up to him. I was just like, hey, man, like, I'll take it down. Sorry.
You respect
But
resources, which is
also,
great.
but also, I was like,
People need the resource, so what the
what are
fuck?
we doing? This is strange.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, this has been a great episode. Daniel,
It's been an
I'll
episode.
talk to you later.
Peace, guys.
Going to stop this podcast. See you guys later.
See you guys. Bye.